Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the movie review and back on reviewing on the Species films. Now, the first film, Species, I enjoy. Say like a sci-fi classic, I would say. Now, then you get to come to the next entry. We get to Species 2. I don't know what I can say about Species 2. When I said there'll probably be would the worker be ranting? Yeah, there is. Just rewatching it again. The film sucks basically. Yeah. I mean, was there ever need to be like a sequel to the first Species? Probably not, but the first film was a hit, so obviously they're going to do a sequel. So, and Species 2, it's released in 1998, 3 years after the first film. You got 3 of the main stars from the first film coming back. Not Natasha Henstridge as, well, this time she's a clone of Syl, so it's a duplicate, but it's Eve. But she comes back. Michael Madsen coming back as Press. And Marg Helgenberger coming back too as Laura Baker. So it's only 3 of the original cast members from the first film come back. Okay, that should be a good that should have been a good start, you know. And for supporting cast, you have Mykelti Williamson, who famously playing Bubba Gump in Forrest Gump. He was also in the supporting role in Free Willy, and I think he was also in the first Power with Lou Diamond Phillips. I haven't seen that film in a long time, but I do remember liking the film. But yeah, and also recently, he starred in The Purge election year, which I liked him in The Purge election year. I thought he was a good character, and I like Mykelti Williamson. Good, and he also was in Con Air as well. Can't forget that. Con Air as a Baby-O. So yeah. And but I like Mykelti Williamson. James Cromwell as this guy, senator. He's U.S. senator, and which was nice to see him in there. Peter Boyle has a brief appearance in this film as well. Sad he was not in it much, but I like Peter Boyle. May rest in peace. And it's directed by this guy Peter Medak. Now he's directed some films that I'm not too familiar with, but there was one he directed from the 80s. It was called The Changeling. It was a film that starred George C. Scott, and I do like The Changeling. I think it's a pretty good film. It's a pretty good film. I'll have to review that film sometime, but it's a pretty good film. Anyway, sorry about the cut there, but as I was saying, I was talking about the guy who directed this film, directed The Changeling. I would say it's a pretty good film that if you were dealing with a straight out ghost film, I would recommend checking it out if anyone has not seen the film, but I'll have to review it sometime. But I like that film, but Species 2 not so much. More of not so much actually. But wonder what it is? It's cinnamon frosted flakes. Because After watching this film, I was feeling a bit hungry. I needed to eat something because I was freaking starving from watching this film. But okay, what do I like about this film? Well, the highlights I do, because the film still sucks, and the positives. It was nice to see the three of the main cast members come back. Yeah, Marg Helgenberger, Michael Madsen, Natasha Henstridge. Okay. The effects are pretty. The effects has good gore and has well done effects. A lot of good practical gore effects as well. I do like that. The cast members, they're the original cast members. You know, they're trying though, but that's a negative as well. They're trying, but the negative side is they're given nothing to do. So, and that's pretty much about it. I mean, yeah, the special effects are really well done though, but and they're practical as well. And I didn't see as much of that. Like the nitpick at the ending of the first film with the CG alien, how the way it was. That was bad though. I didn't see none of that in here. So maybe that's a point though. But practical, if it's a good film with good practical effects, that's good though. But even if it's a bad film with good practical effects, they can't save the movie because the film sucks. So, but the whole thing is okay. Why the film is not good at all, because it's like they're trying to take a play on redoing on the first film, what it feels like, because how the first one was dealing with the main thing is a female alien. Now it's trying to deal with this male alien, a guy alien. Now the reason why, because of that, because it opens up with three astronauts going to Mars. Mykelti Williamson, he's one of the astronauts, and this other woman, and the guy who becomes it. Who this guy's name is Justin Lazard. Now that's another thing. This guy sucked. That's one thing I did not like this film. This guy sucked. He has throughout this whole film, his whole face expression is just like blank stares, like that. I mean, there's nothing to this guy. He's like a ghost face, and not a good presence. He has no presence at all. None of that, and he sucks. But the whole thing is though, he's out there. He steps outside of Mars. He picks up these samples from Mars, the soil samples. They bring it on board. They're heading back, and the thing opens up, and it's like this black goo or ooze, which it's alive, and it goes towards them, and then it cuts. You know, I guess they were having no communication for 7 days, I guess. But then till then they come back to Earth, and they are hailed as heroes and all that. And this guy, Patrick, that's the guy's name. He's the son of the senator James Cromwell, and shortly after that, the guy, he's like, obsessed with these two sisters, and one goes in the bathroom, and the other one is with the guy, and the guy's son now, he starts springing out tentacles, and one with the woman in the bathroom. You get a nice gore effect. Her stomach bursts open. It's a nice, well done piece of gore effect. It is. And they both die. And then it shows that as it has spawned 2 kids, and he takes them to the barn. This barn where he knows, or I guess there's a family place for it. He knows, so he stores them in there, and Now, now the whole thing is that, okay, it focuses more on this guy than on Natasha Henstridge. That's another thing that's a huge nitpick on. She's on the front cover, even the poster and all that stuff, and she doesn't like for a majority of the film. She doesn't appear much. She's a clone of Syl. Her name is Eve. Marg Helgenberger, kind of sort of like, bonds with it a bit, because she's probably part human and wants to treat her like if she's a human as well. And for this whole movie, she just sits in this laboratory in her little domicile, whatever. That's for the most of the movie. She sits in this laboratory for the most of the movie, and the military want to figure out what's going on with they put a little bit together that there's another alien out there, and some of the guests they came back from Mars, and one scientist who has Patrick's blood, it falls over and it's alive. It goes to this wall, and the guy's looking at it, and the guy who is an alien now, he grabs to the wall and rips out the guy's guts, and once again, good gore. And then they bring in Michael Madsen, which I like. He was good in the first film. He here is given nothing to do, sadly, and he had a lot of funny lines of dialogue in the first film, which I liked. He may have one or two good funny lines in this film, but for the most part, they're not all that great. It's a step down from the first film. And even reading up on the on the commentary that Michael Madsen said this Species 2 was a crock of shit. He even expresses that it's a huge piece of shit. So he's not afraid to admit that. He says he'll even admit that he's in a bad film. So, and also that the commentator with the director said that he was given the special effects a really good positive about it, but he even said that the story is they didn't know what they want, and wasn't like how they wanted very different sequel, and they didn't want to go with the ending of the first film, with how the rat ate some of that piece of tentacle and ate the other rats. So they didn't want to go with that. I'd rather just go with the ending with that and see how that plays out, but not this. I'd rather be interested in what happens with that rat, because if it's being continuity, because with the characters coming back though, what's gonna happen with that with that rat? We'll never know. I'd rather follow that ending, but no. So, and they visit Peter Boyle for that one appearance. Because earlier he's in this mental hospital saying don't go to Mars, because he was a part of the research team, and he said don't go to Mars. They didn't believe him, and he punched some guy, and that's how he ended up there. So yeah, they basically ignore what he said, and they just put him in the loony bin, just like what Michael Madsen said. And he just puts him explaining all that stuff, and that's the last we see of Peter Boyle. That's to me. That's like a waste of. That was a waste of Peter Boyle. Maybe if we put him in there more, maybe he's considered he was a part of this team. They spring him out of it, and him trying to hunt this alien down. They didn't do it that way. So, but it sucks because I like Peter Boyle, and it was a waste of him. So, and the whole thing is just the guy who's an alien. He's just because. He's just, making out with more women. He's getting more children. He's putting them all in this barn, and Natasha Henstridge. They keep seeing her, but she's still in this laboratory, and even one point, I mean, why didn't they bring Forrest Whitaker back from the first film? Because You know, because they could have used his they could have used his psychic abilities again, because he senses he senses what Syl was, her feelings are in the first film. Why couldn't they just bring him back in? But it's probably for Mykelti Williamson to join, because while they visit the female astronaut she got infected, and she trying to make it with her husband, I think, and her stomach bursts open, and the thing comes out of her stomach and attacks the guy in the face, trying to be like the face hugger type of thing, but it's not. And Michael Madsen, they come in and shoots a tentacle, the guy dies, and then she dies. So, but like I say, it's good gore, and it's good effects. That's the highlight of the film. It's just good gore and good effects, but they can't save the movie. But and I watched this film earlier, and I'm already forgetting it. So, and it is a very forgettable film. It is, especially a sequel wise, it's a very forgettable sequel. But they want to test Mykelti Williams to see if he's infected. He's not, because he has this disease, because I guess like it makes him immune to certain, because they say that the species of alien species, it wants to inhabit healthy humans, because not one has any symptoms or any genetic flaws in their DNA and all that, or their blood or whatever. So that's why Mykelti Williamson is not infected. He didn't get affected up there to begin with. So he's totally fine. And then they want to use Eve to because whenever she has just this connection with the guy, because wherever the guy is mating, all that, she gets these seizures and all that. She senses that, and she wants to they want to use her so to get her connection to see through the guy's eyes to see where he's at. I mean, if they're going to go through all that, why just bring Forrest Whitaker? Because he's an empath. In the previous review I said telepath, but he said empath. So why couldn't you just bring him in? Because he knows he can or feel where the guy is and all, where this person has been and all that. Because he did all that. He does stuff like that in the first film. Why couldn't they just bring him back for that? But no. So they try to they try to find at this well, before that, because the guy Patrick is the guy's name. I think of the next woman before he was with, was dead. I guess was his fiance, I think. She dies, gives birth to another child, and he's gonna blow his head off and commit suicide. Mykelti Williamson gets there, and he sees that, and he freaks out and runs away, and his head grows back. So yeah, you get a nice effect right there where he blows his head off, but then it grows back. And the whole thing with Michael Madsen, what I'm saying, how this film going is Michael Madsen and Marg Helgenberger given nothing to do. I mean, when the guy tries to again with rape another woman, we're at this grocery store, and Mykelti Williams and Michael Madsen are there. Of course, they mistaken the van where these two kids are, and then the guy surrenders because he sees that with senses with Eve and the other way around. Bring him back to the lab, and she wants him, and he wants her, and all that, but he gets out there because they're going to get him again. So, but then he goes back to the barn, and the kids are going to their cocoons. Like in the first film with Syl, she cocooned herself and she becomes an adult. They're doing the same here. And then Eve escapes her prison. Um, it's just that she goes off to find him because she knows where that gets the connection. And then they get the thing where they create this weapon where with Mykelti Williamson's DNA, because since he was immune to the alien DNA, they decided to put which is kind of dumb, I would say. They want to put in these, like the flame, like those things for flamethrowers, but except shoot like a gas type of thing. Except they use that mixed with Mykelti Williamson's DNA to kill the aliens. Which is kind of dumb because, I mean, why are they just going there with flamethrowers? Wouldn't that be better just burning them to death and all that? And just using this whole DNA thing and all that for to make a weapon out of it? Why can't you just go in with flamethrowers? I mean, in the ending of the first film, they went down in the sewers, which was a good setting. They went in there with flamethrowers. Why can't they just go in with more flamethrowers with this? Why? Because what, trying to duplicate the ending of the first film? I mean, still, I would rather pick a flamethrower over this gas gun. But, but to get there, well, before that, James Cromwell, because he's been told by this guy who's this colonel with this one weird, with this one eye. I guess he has no eye, right? He lost an eye, but he tells him, which that colonel guy did not care for at all. But he tells James Cromwell that his son's infected, so he goes over to that place where he's been keeping the children, tells him that he's going to try to get him to get help, and first apologizing to him for, not getting you help before, but I will help you. And he was wanting to protect his son, whatever. And he hugs him, but then the son kills him by stabs him. The tentacles stab him through the stomach, and the tentacle comes out through his neck. So, and he dies from that. And so that's when they all get there, and Eve gets there. The two start mating out, and the Mykelti Williamson, Marg Helgenberger, Michael Madsen, they get there. They shoot the things to kill the children, and Marg Helgenberger saying, "Eve, there's because she cares for her. Use the part of you is still inside of you. The human part." And shoots spikes into him, and then they both get thrown. She gets thrown, and which how in the first film with Syl, how she killed the guy in the pool, with the boob tentacles. I guess I could do the same thing with the guy, except I think, if I'm mistaken, it was his junk, his junk tentacle. Goes into Eve's mouth and chokes her. Yeah, that's just. Even though the creature effects is really the creature effects of the guy at alien form and Eve form, it's still good creature effects because they originally designed by use H.R. Giger's effects, but overall the Steve Johnson's effects were well done. The alien forms originally was H.R. Giger, but the Steve Johnson's effects took over, and they're still well done effects. The well done practical effects. I still commend that. I still do. But the whole thing is just I don't care for the movie because especially the guy I don't care for. And also funny thing is Mykelti Williamson, because now the other thing though, he has a machete with him. I never once saw him use against the creature and all that. No, he just gets tossed aside. He doesn't do anything with it. So what's the point of bringing it along if you're not going to use it? And Michael Williams, he takes a pitchfork to stab Mykelti Williamson in the leg because his blood is infected with his own disease, and stabs into the back of the alien, and then he dies and melts a little bit. And Marg Helgenberger, she is saddened about Eve being dead and all that, and And then the military come in, they take they quarantine the thing, and they all, like, Michael T. Williams putting in a medical helicopter with this other woman, because the whole thing is like, oh, I've been away from 11 months, I haven't yet gotten laid. So, and then Natasha Henstridge is taken in an ambulance, and there was this one kid, I guess, who didn't get cocooned, is sitting in the ambulance, and Marg Helgenberger wasn't pregnant, I guess, and then you see she's giving birth, but it cuts away to black. So, but yeah, Species 2. It was just, the waste. The 3 of the cast members in there from the first film, they were given nothing to do. Yeah, I'm glad they came back though, but they given nothing to do. Just to mention Natasha Henstridge, throughout most of the whole movie, she just sat in her little bubble in the laboratory. That's what she does for the whole most of the movie until she escapes. The guy who plays who's the next species alien, he sucks. I didn't find nothing likable about him. He's just like blank stare off into space type of guy. Nothing, no presence to him. And Mykelti Williamson I liked. I liked him. He was pretty good though, but it's nothing to do with either. And it was a waste of Peter Boyle. He was just there to give exposition. James Cromwell, which I like. I like him as an actor, and he was all right, okay at best, but nothing to except he was at first, at the beginning, he was a douchebag to the son, until he's affected here. Oh, I'm sorry, son, and then he dies. But Justin Lazard, he totally sucks. He's one of the main issues. It's like they're taking a replay on the first film, except it's a guy alien this time, and chasing after the aliens, same thing. And also the whole thing is just why didn't they bring Forrest Whitaker back? I mean, because why they use this? Because his psychic abilities did help in the first film to find Eve and all that. Eve, I meant Syl. Why couldn't they bring him back to do the same thing to find the guy? Except the whole thing of using because the girl had the connection to the guy, and you see whatever through him. I don't know. It's just all confusing. I don't know why you just couldn't. I don't know why they just couldn't bring him back for that either. But I do understand why Michael Madsen thinks this is a huge piece of shit. I do agree with that. I don't blame him for saying that. Because I even think when he started that film Blood Rain with Uwe Ball, I think he even said that was also a piece of shit as well. So this is a guy who's not afraid to admit he's started a bad film. It's not afraid to call him huge pieces of shit. And this is what this film is. This is a fit piece of shit. I mean, yeah. And also the score did nothing. I mean, Christopher Young's score was good, but in this film by Edward Schumer, I forget what his last name is. I don't care. But if they went along with if they were given Natasha Henstridge more to do, I mean, what if they just brought her along on the mission, to do that, and if she does not turn evil, she's a good guy, and why couldn't they just go with that? Have him join on the team. It makes the hunt be much more fun and all that, and I don't know why they're doing this. Just they changed. They didn't want to. If there was original script, they probably would have went that way. But no, they decided to go with this one. This is horrible. Everything is just horrible about this film. And in the film is much shorter. I'll give that. And it's an hour 33 minutes. Like the previous one was like an hour and 48 minutes. It is much shorter though, but still. But the film had some good. Film had good gore and good, well done practical effects. That's the best thing in the movie. Good gore and effects. But that does not save the movie. But anyway, yeah, there's cuts in this, that's cuts. I'm not gonna apologize for that. Everyone has cuts in their videos, so what? Anyway, just the film sucks. Gore and good effects can't save the film, but when you bring three original cast members that's given nothing to do, and the score is bland, and the lead alien guy sucks big time. Nothing to the guy. It's basically just having to take on and play on the first film, except it's a guy alien. That's the main thing. I mean, it's making me just. And now they have one more to get to, and that's Species 3. And I said before, I'm not reviewing the fourth film because I don't have it, and I don't want to review it anyway. So, but yeah. So this is hope you enjoyed my rant on Species 2. The film sucks, but hey, if you want to check it out, feel free to. And it has also, now that gore has some good amount of nudity as well, because it's if that's your liking to it. But still, it's the movie though. But great special effects from. Can't read for the thing. This thing is blocking it. Yeah, great special effects. That's all I got. But there's lots of other good films, and there's even bad films that has good special effects in as well. So, but it's not the first time. So Michael Madsen, good in the first film. Doesn't have that many too many funny lines of dialogue like he did in the first film. Marg Helgenberger, nothing. And Natasha Henstridge, nothing, sadly. But, yeah, that's my rant on Species 2. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on for Species 3. Yay. Later.